Happened in the 90s.
Don't get stuck in the same routine. Change it daily with ESPN's Midday Workout. Start off with the world's best fitness instructors, the ESPN Fitness Pros. You'll get a workout with a twist. Getting Fit with Denise Austin is next. And July keeps you moving with Bodies in Motion. Plus, the gang on body shaping will get you in great shape.
First,
Get up, get going, get ESPN's Midday Workout.
Steve, you're a handsome black gentleman, okay? I just embrace it.
It seems pretty disingenuous the way it was said. I don't know. I appreciate it. Thanks. I just kind of wish it was a woman. Here's the thing, man. I could tell sometimes when a white person is not used to being around us. I like by like their bar of expectation of how we are or how I am. I could tell like, hello, how are you doing? If I just tell them that, you could just look at their, oh
my God, he's communicating.
He said a proper salutation. Like, and that's going on in their mind. Like I got my peripherals, like Cat Williams say, your peripherals, my peripherals work. So when I'm talking to another man of the Caucasian persuasion, I can see the person who's kind of like standing on the wall. Like, I don't know if I should interact with him. I can tell like from me talking to the person who's talking to me, I can just tell like, oh my God, he can hold a conversation. Like he's not like coming in here with a boombox with hip hop and fucking smoking a blunt and fucking drinking a 40 ounce. Oh my God, I can't believe like he doesn't have 17 baby mamas.
I mean, Steve, feel free though to come through with a blunt and a 40 even, you know.
I do drink 40s and smoke blunts. I don't have 17 baby mamas, but it's just like, I don't know, man.
You know rap, Steve. You know rap, right?
You have an 8-foot vertical, don't you? And an 8-foot cock.
This guy's packing a wallop, am I right, Steve? All right.
Sometimes people mean well when they say such things, but they don't understand or realize how crass they could come across. You seem swell for a black guy, or you're a fine black gentleman.
It's odd to be your friend and then have to watch that happen behind you. Like, oh, this is awkward.
Yeah, but like, I get. I think what breaks the awkwardness is calling the shit out and making fun of it. Because I know, like, whoever said that shit, oh, he seems like a fine black gentleman. Or whatever he said, or handsome black. It's just like, why can't it just be gentleman?
Handsome.
When you throw in the black, it's like, what were you expecting something else? Like, we can't be fine and handsome? How dare you?
But at the same time, Steve, just you are a handsome black gentleman. So
and so are you, my friend.
Thank you. Wow.
Because you got the touch.
Beep, beep, beep.
You got the power.
You hear the magic on that tape? That's ours. Okay. We take that magic, we take it to the record label, we get a deal. It's that easy.
Hey, going back to Jonny Depp, I've realized that there are more Mark Wahlberg movies than Jonny Depp movies that I fuck with. And you can tally them up. It's not hard to do. Just he's got at least a handful of comedy flicks that I fuck with. The Will Ferrell shit, Ted 1 and 2.
I never saw Ted 2, I don't think. I really don't think I saw it, but I didn't mind the first one. I didn't like it didn't set the world on fire, but it was good.
The first one was fucking hilarious.
I mean, it was Family Guy, you know, it was the same kind of shit. It was great. I'm not hating. I love me some Mark Wahlberg. I don't know. It's just
he killed Jonny Depp.
You're right. You're in terms of like numbers, probably, and just Boogie Nights in and of itself, that alone. I mean,
yeah, and I believe they're about neck and neck, man.
Insane, like Fear, Boogie Nights,
Basketball Diaries,
boom. I'm overlooking something massive, and I just can't.
Four Brothers.
Dope. Fuck. Something else in the 90s.
The other guys.
Three Kings.
Three Kings.
That movie's dope. Shout out Three Kings. Check that one out.
Yay. Don Mega.
And Spike Jonze for some reasons in it. You know, why not? Very interesting behind the scenes because Mark Wahlberg famously didn't respect the director. Let's say that. They had a few tussles on set.
Huh.
Mark Wahlberg seems like that type of dude, though. He's kind of a alpha male type dude, seems like.
Yeah, he's from Boston.
And he's got a 13-inch dong. We all saw it in Boogie Nights. We saw it.
Yeah, but he's still got little man complex. How tall is Marky Mark? Like 5'4"?
I wouldn't be surprised. You want me to look it up real quick?
Get his deets.
I'll fact check this shit real quick. Mark, how tall are you? I'm 6'3", Steve. Mark Wahlberg standing. Oh boy. 5'8".
5'8".
5'8", allegedly 5'8". I'll give him an inch, but 5'9" even, I get it.
That used to be the average. I believe the average now is like 5'11", 6 foot even, probably. I don't know.
We're a couple of tall gents, Steve. It doesn't matter. We're looking down on all these fucking people. It's all good.
And all the haters. Well, yeah, man. Hey, boys and girls, this is Steve G and Matt G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about things that happened in the 90s. So get out your Michael Jordan jerseys and your MTV trading cards, because she's the one for me. She's all I ever need. Oh, yes, she's the one for me. She's all I want.
How do you feel about Smashing Pumpkins, Steve? Where do they fall in your 90s pantheon of rock?
Oh, I can't do top 10 with them, but they're legends, man. I fucks with Melancholy and Infinite Sadness. That shit goes hard in the paint. That's really like album wise, that one. Siamese Dream was cool, but yeah, dude, they got some bangers.
Melancholy, I mean, I think that's both for anybody our age. That's the one. Plus, that has a couple of fucking burners on that. Plus a double album. You didn't get that. I mean, it's rare you ever get that. It's crazy for a rock band to do that. I don't remember which one I enjoyed, the blue or the pink, but
they were unique, man. I mean, not too many bands at that time had a girl in the band, like with guys.
Oh yeah, I forgot there was a chick in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they had an Asian guitarist. So they had like a different kind of look, man. It made them unique. And Billy Corgan
looks like a Make-A-Wish kid that got his wish made to be a rock star.
In a way, yeah, I could see that. He's like a wrestling fan. He owns was it TNA, or he bought NWA.
He was writing I think he was actually writing one of the writers for WWE for a while. I think he did that.
Yeah, man. Unbeknownst to me this whole time.
Hey, maybe you know this, Steve. Did Patrice O'Neal ever write for WWE? I heard a rumor.
He did. He did, man.
That's insane.
Yeah, he didn't like the lifestyle, man, because that shit it's all year round.
Do you know what he was responsible? Like any of what he did?
Well, this is Ruthless Aggression era, I believe. This was like early to mid 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah, because he would pass away in 2011. Yeah.
That's so sick. I mean, the shit has to be written. You know that it's stories and stuff, but you never think like these comedians you like, or fuck, what's his face? Smashing Pumpkins dude, Billy Corgan. You never think like people like that. It's like, oh, those people actually were writing the shit. That's crazy. I thought it was just Vince like doing lines, fucking just, just making it up as he goes.
He's gonna puke. He's gonna, man. I was just telling my roommate about this time when Vince came out in the 90s, and he had this promo. I'll never forget this shit. When I die, I want to go to hell.
What the fuck?
I was just like, whoa, Vince.
Okay.
You've come a long way from just being that nice, innocent commentator guy.
I mean, I just remember you in high school just going, Austin, you're fat. You did that in the Penn State Nittany Lions, like growl, whatever it is.
Yuck. A lot of fucking Kijana Carter's and fucking Curtis Enos touchdowns.
Curtis Enos, dude. Shout out Curtis Enos. Whatever happened to that guy?
Yeah, in the ginger quarterback y'all had, the whistleblower, if you will.
Yeah. It took a while though. It was a slow whistle. He had to go find the whistle.
Shout out to that ginger quarterback. Do you even remember his name, Matt?
See, he was never a good core. Like, that's past my time.
He beat our ass.
Well, I mean, hey,
he was good enough to do that.
I don't. But you know, fuck that guy. He was a piece of shit.
Y'all had that really good wide receiver when y'all had him. It was Curtis Enos, and he ended up going to the Browns. He's actually from Cleveland. He played for Penn State. I don't think he was drafted by Cleveland. Maybe he was.
Wide receiver, I'm not remember. I remember fucking LeVar Arrington's beast ass. That's about one of
Juravicious.
Oh, Joe Juravicious? Hell yeah.
What a name. Right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
I forgot about that guy's he was white, right?
White dude, yeah, fucking hoss.
You know, that's what happens, Steve. Some kids got touched, and then there were some beast ass players. You know, linebacker Paul Posluszny. Anybody remember that name?
Nah, man.
Nah, man. Sorry, Paul. Sorry, bud.
Lost me on that one.
Sorry, dog. Sorry, Paul. But anywho, Penn State, all the boy touching aside, what's up, Steve? How you doing?
Shit. I don't know. How do we? Yeah. Where do we go from that one?
You're the one that brought Penn State up. I mean, we just have to point out the obvious there. Great play.
Yeah. And he's still alive. Like, how is he making it, man? They say if you diddle children, you're gonna be fucking Yao Ming in fucking jail, man. And here he is, still standing. Still here, Joey.
Sandusky? Is that who you?
Yeah.
He's rich, Steve. That's what you don't get. Like, rich people can get away with that. Like, that guy was living in the back. His backyard was a fucking elementary school, dude. It's crazy.
You don't think he was holding his own in there, putting up his paws? Come on,
oh, it's definitely like a no holds barred stitch in there now. It's straight Oz. He's in there.
He's a part of Aryan Nation now.
Jerry Sandusky's just tatted the fuck up, just running the jail.
Yeah, man. If you don't join this, they're gonna eat your ass, literally.
You know what Sandusky does?
Okay. All right, man. Where do I start? Where do I sign? Because I can't fight. But today, my friend, we're talking about all things May 19th, the 90s. Happy birthday to my cousin Richard, by the way.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, man. Fucking he got me hip to Pizza Cat in Toledo. It's the best pizza ever in the world.
In Toledo.
It's called Pizza Cat. And they're down the street from Geno's. What I love about this is the pettiness of it. The guy who owns Pizza Cat was fired from Geno's. He basically takes Geno's recipe and makes it better. And the fucking all of the fucking traffic from Geno's goes to Pizza Cat now, because I'm telling you, bro, whatever the fuck he's done, like, he unlocked the matrix, broke the cheat code. And just the fact that, like, there's that backstory with it. Oh man, the pettiness tastes so lovely.
So everybody go visit Pizza Cat. Sounds like I love the pettiness myself, Steve. I'm gonna have to go check it out. I don't remember Gino's, but anybody who just gets fired and then just steals the business, I love that.
Yeah, well, Geno's was a staple in Toledo forever, man. They always say it's the best, and what it's all right. Gets a passing grade.
Marco's, Steve.
It's not fucking with Marco's.
I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
we just had Marco's, man, the other day. He had some of that. My roommate ordered some of that Ray Romano sauce or whatever the hell you want to call it, and Roma sauce. Yeah, the shit. Yeah,
just don't fuck. Just get the OG blend. Just get that. Get you some cheese sticks. Get you some Cinna sticks, and just party, and then fall asleep in a diabetic coma afterwards.
That's the only way to go.
Fine.
With every diet I was on, I couldn't lose weight because I was always hungry. But I lost 9 pounds, and I lost those 9 pounds because I took Dexatrim. Dexatrim just controls your appetite so you're not hungry. The plan was easy. It was wonderful the way the weight came off.
Just one Dexatrim helps control your appetite from morning till bedtime, so you can lose weight without being hungry.
And you just get all these results. And I lost 9 pounds, and I feel great, and it shows.
Clinical studies prove 4 out of 5 people lost weight with Dexatrim.
Now, in 1990, Saturday Night Live is airing their season finale with musical guests, the Notting Hillbillies and Candace Bergen. Never heard of the Notting Hillbillies. One thing that stood out was a Toonces skit. And
I love that shit, dude. Toonces the driving cat.
It was pretty dark. Like Toonces fucking puts this other cat, this rival cat, into a daze, basically puts like smelling salt with the fucking rag over the cat. And, yeah.
Toonces the driving cat.
I love it. But other than that, oh yeah, there was a Wayne's World skit.
Candace Bergen. Who is
Murphy Brown?
Murphy Brown. Okay, there we go. Murphy Brown. My mother's favorite show back. I hated Murphy Brown. It was the Dennis Miller of sitcoms. It was unnecessary.
I mean, it's CBS, man. But on that night, that same day in 1990, Capital Combat airs on pay-per-view through NWA. And Capital Combat is mostly remembered for having the RoboCop crossover promotion. And the only involvement that RoboCop had, he comes out, Sting is locked in a cage. RoboCop comes out and his equipment is falling apart. So he could barely move. He's like trying to keep the shit together. And he like breaks open the cage and frees Sting so that he can fight in his match. And, they've promoted it with this guy all over the posters, RoboCop, thinking there was going to be some more involvement than what we actually got.
Like he was going to wrestle and shit. Like, shit.
Something like maybe shoot a motherfucker with a laser gun or something. I don't know.
Can I say, Steven, I'm probably going to get a lot of hatred for this. RoboCop. I mean, there's one where a little kid's a drug dealer, and that one's kind of funny, but I don't know, man. I didn't dig the RoboCop. I feel like Terminator was my robot thing, Does that make sense?
Well, you watched RoboCop probably after Terminator. Like you didn't. Maybe you'd appreciate it more if you watched RoboCop in the 80s.
I do remember one thing from RoboCop 1 where the dude gets shot up. Like the guy who becomes RoboCop gets shot up in the most graphic of way. Like he gets blown apart, which is why he becomes RoboCop. But it's pretty wild.
Yeah. And I mean, wasn't Red Foreman in the movie? I think he was the guy that shot him.
Oh yeah, he's the villain. Yeah, for sure.
The villain, yeah.
There's some other there's like a corporate entity that's a villain too, and there's some like slime bag he's kind of has the energy of like that guy that does coke and Die Hard that tries to negotiate or whatever. Just a slime ball, but now that I'm saying it, now I'm kind of having some fond memories of RoboCop. Maybe I need to go back. I
believe it's available on one of these streams, man. And this also has Mark Callis. Mean Mark Callis is in this pay-per-view. This is The Undertaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Wow.
he's accompanied with Teddy Long, and he has a fight with Johnny Ace. And
What's
Johnny
his
Ace,
thing? What is his thing in this?
he's being Mark Callis.
He's just a mean guy.
Yeah, and he's got his red hair out. He's got his red mullet.
Nice. Just full
Yeah.
like straight. He probably hung out with fucking Scott Hall a lot. You know, were they crossing over? Because I feel like the look. I need to get some side by side. They had the same like mullety hair and pedo stash, except Undertaker's is red and weird.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know if they crossed paths at this point. But he was in a tag team with Dangerous Danny Spivey. You probably don't remember him, but yeah, they were both managed by Teddy Long, and Teddy Long was the black guy. Holla, holla, player. You gonna have a match?
Black guy.
Yeah, he was the black guy. He was like the general manager for SmackDown. He always be like, "You're gonna have a match with the Undertaker tonight." He would always have somebody facing Undertaker every Thursday.
I mean,
if he didn't like you.
Fuck it.
But in 1991, on May 19th, Babes aired their series finale. This is one of those weird Fox experiments from the late 80s, early 90s. It's the series that follows a trio of overweight sisters facing the challenges of work, relationships, popularity, and starting a family. The ladies also share a small one-bedroom apartment in New York City, which added to the comic friction. And yeah, like I said, very niche fucking crowd. I don't get the full picture, but the woman in the middle, she's the more recognizable. Her name is Amy Jo Sperber, and she was in some of the Back to the Futures, and she was in Bosom Buddies. I don't know if you remember that, with Peter Scolari and Tom Hanks back in the day. Yeah.
What is this show called? Babes?
Babes, yeah.
Nice.
It's kind
Fox
of
was really just like making some Hail Mary passes at this point. They're like, we got to figure out fat chicks, maybe. I don't know.
Just throwing darts, man. You know, and in looking back on it, I mean, this probably wouldn't last the full season. It's pretty disingenuous.
These just look like some background players from Blossom or something, you know. It's got that kind of energy. But man, you said that what that chick in the middle's from. She looks so fucking familiar. She's definitely in something I've seen. I guess probably Back to the Future.
Yeah, maybe one of those Bosom Buddy episodes. Now, in 1981, WCW has another pay-per-view titled Super Brawl 1. And this is known for it being Ric Flair's last WCW pay-per-view before he would go on to join Vince and them boys.
Vince just waiting, just sitting there, just calculating, like, I'm going to take this guy now. I'm going to throw the check. Look at Ric Flair, dude. God, how much fucking Floridian puss was this guy just drilling through on a weekly basis, Steve? I mean, is
even
he
looking like this?
Whoa,
that's how he looked at the end of the night. And his match was against Tatsumi Fujinami for the NWA and WCW World Heavyweight Championships, and the match was 18 minutes and 39 seconds. As you can see, it was a gruesome fight, man.
Yeah, this is your brain on drugs, Steve. Jesus, what is Arn Anderson back there with some hair on his head?
Yeah, he actually had a match just prior to this match facing Bobby Eaton for the World Television Championship, and he lost. That match was 11 minutes and 50 seconds.
It's fucking Al Borland on roids, dude. Straight man. This is when men were men, Steve, in in wrestling in general. Look at these guys. They could build a house, possibly. I mean, Ric Flair can't. He could snort a house.
And just prior to Arn Anderson's match was the Sting, Lex Luger, and Steiner brothers match, and this won match of the year.
I see a fucking neon blonde-headed Sting, and I love that.
Yeah, I think everybody loves Surfer Sting better.
I mean, it was just, that's like peak Sting to me. Once he started doing the crow shit, that's when it was more, we were getting older. I was kind of getting out of wrestling a little bit, but I also see Scott Steiner looking very 90s with that mullet. I like
And
this.
everybody,
What do you call that, Steiner? Because this is like when I fell in love with Scott Steiner. The Frankensteiner specifically is why I love the Steiner brothers so much. But he had a specific look, Steve. I mean, I don't know if it's white trash or
Mullet Steiner, Michigan Steiner.
Yeah, Ann Arbor Steiner.
Ann Arbor Steiner, and everybody prefers this Steiner. This is the one that was doing the Hurricane Rana. He was the guy that, like, they called it the Frankensteiner. And then later, when the Lucha Libre guys were doing it, they started calling it the Hurricane Rana. And it's like, I remember this being called the Frankensteiner. And that guy introduced it to me, this guy.
But then he got Jack City, and it got real spicy, Steve. Scott Steiner, he was the wholesome All-American wrestling guy. He was like a college wrestler. He's made good, and then he turned into fucking big bad booty daddy or whatever the fuck he called himself.
Holla if you hear me.
Scott Steiner, is he alive, Steve?
Yeah, they just got inducted into the Hall of Fame this year.
Hell
man.
Yeah. So they being
Finally.
who? The
Steiner brothers as a tag team, as they should. They're one of the GOATs, man. Like the essential tag team. And back in the 90s, bro, it was Legion of Doom and Steiner brothers. And then not until New Age Outlaws came around in the late 90s, but Steiner brothers were around the whole decade.
I straight up used to watch WCW till the end because they would always be at the end when they were really getting popular. And I would watch specifically because I knew they were going to be there and I was going to get to see a Frankensteiner. So huge Steiner brothers fan, huge fucking Scott Steiner fan. Huge. Yeah. Is Rick Steiner alive, Steve?
Both of them are alive. They were there for their
I'm sorry. Like usually when we talk about wrestling of this era, most of the guys are dead. And Rick Steiner, he was juiced up, Steve. He was amped up a lot. So I didn't know. Maybe, that took its toll.
Scott Steiner, yeah. But
no, Rick. I always thought Rick, the way he was crawling around like a bulldog, those are the acts of a man like in a coke frenzy, Steve.
He was the dog-faced gremlin.
Chewing on ropes. I mean, sometimes you get in a coke rage and that's what it looks like.
Shit, he was my favorite back in the day, man. And I'm actually a fan of all three of the guys, everybody not named Lex Luger in this match. I didn't get
Lex Luger. It was a purely if I'm a gay man, I'm loving it. But other than that, like I didn't enjoy it. Did he pick up Yokozuna? Was he the first guy to do that?
Yeah, this guy, they tried hard with Lex Luger. He was supposed to be Hogan's replacement as the next patriotic guy, whatever. So he comes off of a helicopter. He gets dropped off on a helicopter after all of these like former football players and everything make their attempt at trying to body slam him. He comes off of a helicopter and then he body slams him, and it's just so dramatic. And he's like, everybody fucking hoists him over their fucking shoulder. And, then he goes on the Lex Express. And that was an ongoing thing all that whole summer. Where he would be traveling on his bus and it would have his face emblazoned with the stars and stripes, the red, white, and blue. The Lex Express is coming to your town. And they would announce it on every Raw, on every WWF Superstars. He'll be in Akron on Sunday. And then the Lex Express will be stopping in Detroit by Tuesday. Like,
Lex Luger will lift a fat man in every city across the country.
They tried hard.
Get your biggest guy and see if Lex can lift his ass.
But I mean, lack of charisma, man. You need the chops. You never had it, man.
He was just a buff guy. I mean, I get it. But even Ultimate Warrior was like so erratic and like crazy that you wanted to watch. Lex Luger was just like, I mean, when he was the narcissist, they just opened up like a thing of mirrors and he would just pose in it like American Psycho.
Exactly, because Vince has a hard on for those guys. It's like, whoa, oh my God, look
at that physique.
We'll just put some mirrors in front of him. And he can look at himself, and everybody's looking at himself. Jeez. But you also missed another gem in this Super Brawl 1. We get to see Oz. And Oz would eventually be
What the?
Big Daddy Cool. Yeah, man. WCW, they were gambling too with these fucking characters.
Wow, I have never seen that. He looks like fucking the Grinch. What the fuck, dude?
Oz.
Man, what was the one that was Tugboat in a fucking stormtrooper mask? Who was that?
Shockmaster.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they need to go toe to toe, dude. Shockmaster and Green Grimace or whatever the fuck that is.
And he ended up beating his opponent, Tim Parker, in 26 seconds because he's Oz.
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh, a guy with a crazy name beats a guy with a fucking Tim Parker name. Like that's just the guy in the red shirt on Star Trek. It's just like thrown to the wolves.
Early 90s wrestling is just ridiculous. And then there's Big Josh. Yes,
Big
this was an
Josh,
actual thing
dude.
too. Big fucking Josh.
Big Josh. Dude, Steve, tell me those aren't real bears.
Those are real bears?
Big Josh, dude, this is a fucking risk, guys. 2 bears. What's going on here? How did this end? How did this end? Did they fucking kill an audience member or some shit?
Well, Big Josh, he beat Black Bart in 3 minutes and 26 seconds.
Black Bart, where's that picture at, Steve? Tell me you got a picture of Black Bart.
Black Bart, no, that's NFSW.
What is that?
NSFW.
I'm gonna look up Black Bart right now, Steve.
Big Black Bart.
Black Bart, dude. You motherfuckers couldn't think of something better. What is this? Black Bart WCW. Let's take a look. Oh my god, dude. What the fuck? What? I mean, was this guy arrested? I mean, I don't. First of all, I thought it was a racist thing, not that.
Yeah.
This guy looks like he looks like somebody that rapes people in a desert, Steve. It's like Cactus Jack if he rapes people.
I think he is now, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing some newer pictures and it's looking a little bad. Looks like Black Bart went downhill fast.
Maybe if it was a WWF, he would have been had racist connotations.
Oh, boy,
he's big and he's black.
I'm seeing a lot of Confederate flags with him too, so I don't know, Steve. Black Bart. Shout out Black Bart. Who knew? And what's this guy? What's the lumberjack's name? What's the brawny man's name?
Big Josh.
Big Josh. Wow. Those writers hopefully didn't keep their jobs too long.
But get this though, Matt. Do you know who he would be more famous for, Big Josh, later in life?
Big Josh. Who could he have been?
He would be known better as a wrestling clown named Doink.
That's Doink the Clown, dude?
Yes. This right here is the original Doink. His name is Matt Bourne, and he's no longer with us. Matt Bourne passed away in 2013 of drug overdose. Yeah.
I got to say, Big Josh, Doink, I wouldn't have expected you to take the makeup off Doink and he looks like that. Let's put it like that. Rest in peace. Doink the Clown, one of the weirdest gimmicks for no reason. I don't think anybody was ever a huge fan of Doink the Clown. He had a midget or a little person, Dink. And, it happened, but so bizarre. And I didn't know he was actually a normal looking person under that.
He was actually respected for his craft as far as being a performer. Yeah, man. Bankhead bounce for Matt Bourne. And 1992, May 19th, Billy Ray Cyrus releases his debut album, Some Gave All. And this was chart topping like a motherfucker. I don't know if you guys got the box back in the day, but I lived in Columbus in 92 and we got the box where you could call in a 1-800 number and off of a 3-digit selection, each video had its own like combo. And this song, amongst the Nothing But a G things, the Easy-E shit, the Ice Cube shit, this would stop. That fucking achy breaky heart shit would pop up. That mullet would be flapping up. And if you take my heart, man, enough people like that shit for it to be hitting the airwaves and for an 8-year-old Steve to know about it.
Howdy, parts! This here is Marty Payne on the Detroit's #1 country station.
My mom and dad listen to the shit out of this. I mean, they like
I
country
smell my
music.
sister's farts.
Yeah. I mean, very you know, you could definitely do a Weird Al to this. I'm sure did Weird Al do this?
No, I'm not sure, but Alvin and the Chipmunks did, and that shit hit the charts too in the U.S., Australia, and the UK. The shit was that popping. So the shit was that popping that George, Leroy, and Sonya were getting down to it.
Dude, they were fucking just blasting this in a minivan, just straight. Ooh, ooh. Give me that Franzia, George. Just straight.
Hey, they were working on the second mat. Sometimes when you weren't around, hey, if you break my I ain't gonna do that to you, man.
I mean, hey, who knows? Somebody was though. Somebody was fucking the fuck out of somebody to achy breaky hearts to you.
Hey, bro, like real talk. Watch this video, and you could tell it was getting honey's moist.
I'm getting moist just thinking about it.
Ooh.
I'm getting moist just thinking about it, Steve.
Well,
Billy.
I like a lot of things in life. Like lollipops in my ass. And in that same day, 1992, Vice President of the United States Dan Quayle speaks at the Commonwealth Club in San Francisco. And during his speech, he criticizes the Murphy Brown character for mocking the importance of fathers by bearing a child alone. And it's so a beef was started between Candace Bergen and Dan Quayle. How dare you?
Dan, I'm sure he got slapped. I mean, I'd be afraid of Candace Bergen. I'm assuming Dan Quayle. Look at this guy. Didn't he almost choke or something? Did something happen with Dan Quayle? I remember.
He couldn't spell potatoes properly.
That's what it was. He was just a fucking dim bulb. But he can do this, Steve. I'm Dan Quayle. Hey.
I'm a schmuck. Oh man, I forgot to show this. This was the clip.
Even Sting's like, man, what the fuck?
We promoted all month long, and this is all you gonna do? Your fucking
Sting's
shoulder
fucking bigger than RoboCop.
Pick your shoulder blade off the fucking ground. What shit is falling apart, man? Let's hurry up and get to the back.
Malfunction, and he had to play it off like say shit too. Oh no, fucking RoboCop got hacked.
It's so pathetic, man. But in 1993, the Roots released their debut album called Organics. It's their debut album, and I didn't know they were going on that far back, man. But this was independent. It was originally sold at the band shows in Europe, and the album earned enough industry buzz to earn the Roots offers from major record labels, after which they signed with DGC, and which at the time was better known for its grunge music.
Dude, how fucking old are the Roots, dude? Jesus, 93?
93, man. And they're still here. They're doing Jimmy Fallon, bro. You're talking about 10,000 hour rule. I'm sure you've heard about Black Thought's legendary freestyle on what is it? The guy that used to be on MTV with the hat.
Sway. On
Sway in the Morning, he drops this legendary freestyle, and it is just full of fucking bars within bars. Big Pun would be proud. And a lot of people saying it's like one of the greatest freestyles ever. And it's Black Thought, who's been doing this since 93, probably before 93. This is their first album. So
that's what I mean. Like, how old are these guys? They've been doing, they're 150 years old, Steve.
150,000 hours, and this is mastery, man. I mean, and you think about Questlove on the hi-hats and all of this, man. They've been doing this and building this connection for years, man, just in the pocket. Like, I know what my guy's going to do on the drums. I sense his rhythm. It's just, it becomes an innate thing. But shout out to the Roots, dude. Man.
I found out about them in college, like in 2001. Yeah. So to think they'd been doing it for 8 years at that point, and they're still around. I mean, they're, like you said, they're Jimmy Fallon's house fucking band. They're so prolific. That's sick.
Yeah, man. On that same day in 93, Beverly Hills 90210, they're airing their season finale, Commencement. The gang basically graduates high school.
I think there's a reason we didn't pick that one.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's got its gems. I like looking at that Terry Garr.
Beverly Hills. I just can't look at Ian's earring, Steve. After that one episode we watched where it was just like somebody who just wanted to see him shirtless the whole time. It's just like I have a distaste for it.
I honestly think he's universally disliked by like any watchers of this show. If you had to pick,
and for good reason. Looks like a Q-tip.
Oh, ouch! Bizarro Lopez.
Bizarro Lopez. Hell yeah, Steve Knight.
By the Wayside High School. In 1994, Seinfeld is airing the episode The Opposite. George decides to turn his life around by doing the exact opposite of what he would usually do. Elaine is having a lot of bad luck. Jerry keeps breaking even. Kramer gets the coffee table book published.
I feel like this has got to be a seminal episode of Seinfeld.
Any George-focused episode is seminal.
I mean, this is when he gets his gig with the Yankees, Steve. Even I, as a Seinfeld fucking non-watcher, knew I watched this episode and knew he worked for the Yankees. So I think this is a pinnacle episode, and I loved it.
And I believe this is the first appearance of the George Steinbrenner silhouette.
Did you ever? I think I just recently saw a video about this that they actually did try to use Steinbrenner, but he sucked so bad they just said fuck it and used Larry David. And Larry David had to call George Steinbrenner and be like, "We didn't use you. Sorry, bud."
Not gonna work. Not good. Not good.
But at the beginning of this episode, it's really looking up for Elaine's, Steve. She's getting a promotion or something's happening. A raise, yes. And her boss is like, "You're on your way, kid." So, and she's super excited. It looks like everything's going well for her. Looking great too. Elaine, we've talked about it before. Looking hot.
Wow. Meanwhile, George is sitting at the dock of the bay with a look of despair, looking like typical Costanza. Yeah, I can't stand you. And he pops up where Jerry and Elaine are at the usual spot. And he's just like, "You know what, man? I just don't get it. I had a bright future. I was a bright kid, maybe not academically, but, I like to think that I was going to have it figured out. Every decision I make, every move I make is the wrong move."
What's he going to do, Steve? What are you going to do in this moment? You're just going to
start doing the opposite shit. Everything I've done is not working for me. This ain't it. That ain't it. So, hey, waitress, no tuna this time. Give me a chicken salad on rye. No coffee. Give me tea. And don't untoast it. Don't toast my shit this time. We'll start there.
I mean, right away, kudos to him for immediately starting something like this. A lot of people would say this and then blow it off. He doesn't. He orders a sandwich. He changes it up. And immediately Elaine's like, "Hey, George, this fucking hottie over at the fucking counter's looking at you. Go talk to her." And he doesn't. He's like, "No, a chick like that, bald dude, little penis, she ain't gonna go for it." And Elaine's like, what would new George do? And he thinks about it and he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna go shoot my shot real quick. New George. Fuck it."
And I love it.
And he does, Steve. He walks up. Turns out the chick ordered the exact same thing that he ordered. So this new thing, it's immediately paying off. And it looks like he's gonna get in, Steve. He's gonna get more than a fucking chicken salad on rye, if you know what I'm talking about. Something's gonna get rye.
Yeah, because he doesn't sugarcoat shit this time. He keeps it all the way G1000 with him. "Hey, my name is George. I'm unemployed and I live with my parents." "I'm Victoria."
Yeah, what the fuck? And
right to his lap.
This is what everyone tells you, Steve. Don't just tell the truth. Be honest. Be you. And it's paying off for George. So George is, he's got that pre-date boner. He knows it's all he's getting ready. Back at Jerry's, Jerry loses a job and he's torn up. But immediately he gets another job for the same amount of money. And it's like, man, even kill Jerry. I forget, like Kramer walks in, I think, or somebody walks in. They're like, man, you always even out, you know?
Yeah, that was Kramer. Oh, by the way, his stupid coffee book is getting published. That's another part of the storyline. And he's like, you're even Steven.
And Kramer's going to go on Regis and Kathy Lee to, you know, do some promotion, talk about the book. And it's a coffee table book about coffee tables, Steve. So, I don't get it, but I think we just have a hatred of Kramer, and it doesn't allow us to enjoy the character that much, you know?
Pretty much. I think that's where we are. It's pretty niche. You know, if it was another character, I'd be like, oh, that's kind of clever.
That's a good way to like shit on something. It's pretty niche, you know.
It's got potential. Yeah.
But yeah, Jerry's even Steven, Steve. So we cut to George. He's out with Victoria, and he's just fucking playing it super cool. It's opposite day George. And they go to a movie, they're hanging out. Nightmare scenario. There's two fucking like meatheads behind him, just laughing it up, yucking it up, you know, throwing popcorn. George,
Powder in his pal.
You know, George is trying to just enjoy a night out with his lady friend. So old George may have just, you know, eaten this, as I probably would have. I'd just be like, you know what? Let's move.
No, not this George. No. You tell him to shut the fuck up, or else y'all can fuck around and find out. And after that, he gets a roaring applause, like, we were all pussies, but you stood up to Powder and his pal.
You will get, I mean, this is a moment where if this happens in real life, you're leaving that theater, or possibly in the theater having sex. Yeah. I mean, you know, that's good. And you can see Victoria's like, oh my God, this Costanza.
Oh.
Gush. So they leave, you know, we see that George dropping Victoria off and just playing another just player move where she's like, do you want to come upstairs and let me just gobble your penis? And he's like, you know what? It's just not time yet, Victoria. We just met. We don't know each other. And she's like, who are you, George Costanza? Gush.
I don't even know anymore. Now we have a French Stewart cameo. Yeah. You know, it seems like NBC grooms these people before they get released into their own shit. But French Stewart, he's a manager in the movie theater, and he gives Elaine a memo saying that her date got into an accident. And she's like, oh shit. But along the way, before she leaves, she gets some juji fruits. She loves these juji fruits, as we'll see. So she visits Jake, her date, in the hospital, and she's going to town on those juju fruits. And Jake couldn't help but ask, like, so when did you get these juji fruits? Did you get them after you found out I got into an accident and could have died, bitch? And he's just asking her like 21 questions about these goddamn juji fruits. Basically making her seem villainous. Like, damn, bitch can't eat.
I mean, damn Columbo, though. It's like, I could have been like, I bought them before the guy told me. That enough said. He's like, wait, I called and told the guy to get you before you got into the movie theater. So there's no way. And he just takes this. I mean, this guy's lunatic, really. You're better
pretty
off.
Much.
Jake's sort of probably a psychopath, Elaine, but she feels terrible, but she still loves them juji fruits, Steve. This bitch is gobbling like, how long does the box last, bitch? It should have been gone looking at you eat them things.
Yeah, she was gargling the motherfuckers. And
gargling.
She loves them motherfuckers more than Jake. But Jake, dude, at least she didn't like stay at the movie and watch the movie. That would have really been some fuck shit, Jake. You're just really manipulative.
Yeah, she came to hang out. Sorry, she needed some fucking sustenance. She needed to feel good about herself while she was worried about you. God damn.
Bro. She could have gave you an HJ under the fucking nurse, dude. Whatever the fuck.
Her mouth's all lubed up with juji fruit fucking juice. Freaking, she's gonna love that shit.
You'd never find out now, Jake. Now Kramer's on Regis and Kathy Lee set, and they love his hair. They just love him. They're in awe of Kramer, and he's just introduced as Kramer. I guess that's his stage name, no last name. And
this guy is bonkers, Steve.
He's bonkers. And the book apparently turns into a coffee table, and they're just stuck on stupid. As the crowd is applauding, Kramer spits his coffee out. I guess it went into the wrong tunnel, and it lands on Kathy Lee's dress.
Nah, so you just ruined Kramer again, just ruining another opportunity. But really, it's like, how fucking dumb are Regis and Kat? It turns into a coffee table. Oh my god! If this is Shark Tank, I've been like, get the fuck out of here. But no, he fucks the promotion up. But we don't, he just spits on him and they kind of cut. But it's very Kramer. He spazzes out. Elaine comes in and starts talking to Jerry about her night. Jerry actually also had another instance where he had a poker game, I believe, at his apartment. Yeah. And he ended up coming out even. So again, even Stevens. But
and he tells Elaine about that, and she's just like, she's a hater at this point. And she's like, hey, give me a $20 bill. He gives it to her, and she just throws it out the window. And he's like, what the fuck? What, bitch? What are you doing? And she's like, well, if you're really even, Steven, it'll come back. And Jerry's like, well, bitch, you could have thrown a pencil out or something, Yeah,
damn, bitch, a 20 spot? And then George comes in and is like, I found a fucking 20. So his luck just off the charts. He's telling them about Victoria. And not only is Victoria all up on this guy's dick, this chick's about to hook him up with a job at the Yankees because her uncle works at the fucking Yankees, Steve. I mean, honey pot, gold. This is just a golden goose.
Yeah, with the silk igloo, they call it. And an assistant, I didn't even know this was a fucking position. An assistant to the traveling secretary.
Yep.
It's the Yankees, so it's money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is like one of those like mob jobs, Steve. This is 90s New York. I'm sure this guy's mobbed up in some way.
Basically, make sure Chuck Knobloch's wife doesn't find out about certain things. You're that guy.
Don Mattingly's. There's a lot of dead hookers in Don Mattingly's past that nobody found out about. It's because of this dude.
You're the patch-up guy.
But George is doing his interview, and he is, doing the opposite. And even this guy's like blown away, like, you're the opposite of every fucking person that's come in here. And coincidentally, then fucking Steinbrenner walks by, and this guy's like, George, come here. And George Steinbrenner. George meets George Steinbrenner in this like silhouette thing that you talked about earlier. This becomes famous. This happens all the time. But just lays into Steinbrenner. He's like, you know what? The irresponsible way that you have run this team has caused so much misery to New York in general. You should be ashamed of yourself. And Steinbrenner is just like, I like your moxie, kid. You got a job. Give this man a job.
This man. And the guy who plays Victoria's uncle is Paul Gleason. He's no longer with us, R.I.P. He played the principal in Breakfast Club. Play with the bull, get the horns.
Yep. I knew him from something, but yeah, hell yeah. He was in a lot of other shit too. I think he was in Die Hard.
And back to Elaine, she's getting kicked out of her apartment because there's been some complaints. Apparently she was putting Canadian quarters in the washing machines, amongst other things.
Yeah. And she's starting to really get disheveled too. Like this bad luck is starting to like visually like appear on her, just like, visualize itself on her. Jerry is out on a date, or just like, I think he's out on a date, and it's not going well. And the chick basically breaks up with him, and he's like, you know what? It's all gonna work out. It's fine. I'm gonna find another chick. Because I'm even Stevens. Yeah, exactly. I wish I could have handled a breakup like this at one point in my life. Be like, all right.
I do now.
I can't. I never was able to do this. So shout out. And congratulations to you for reaching that point. I like that.
Hey, I mean, you reach a moment of realization. They get kids and then they become single again, and you don't have kids, you become a commodity. Yes, I said it.
Oh my God.
Kevin Samuels walked so I could run. Ha. There you go. Ha ha. Yeah.
Have you heard the 911 call of what happened to that guy, by the way? Sidetracking Sally here, but very bizarre.
I did, and it's unfortunate. And it's unfortunate that all of the hood boogers and the buffaloes are coming out to rejoice, further proving his point as to why you are still single. Because you're miserable on the inside, and you shouldn't rejoice over someone's death just because you have differing opinions.
Kevin, I just thought I could get this man to love me. That's why you a dumb bitch. That's why you ugly bitch.
He wasn't that crass, but his delivery they didn't like, man. It was basically keeping it real with him. With the shit that they needed to hear.
I mean, that's exactly what it was. He didn't say bitch, but he was like, no one is gonna love you. You got a kid. You're 31. And that's that. Like, there's literally a clip I saw in the video I watched where I was like, like the chick paid for this, and he was like, you paid me to tell you what the fuck's up. So here it is.
And that's the thing. People overlook the fact that women are volunteering to get this advice. I know a guy in Houston who actually has a success story finding his wife through Kevin Samuels. So, but that doesn't go viral. We don't care about the good stories.
He was hooking people, like he would connect.
He's a relationship consultant. He's a relationship consultant. Like, that's his thing. And that's why people were calling in. But yeah, man, you can't be over the hill and expect Idris Elba to just come. They watch too many Tyler Perry movies thinking, oh my God, I'm going to get me a Russell Wilson too. Look, everybody ain't Sierra. Everybody ain't Russell. All right. You need to find you a hardworking junk man or some shit.
The only thing I know is what people are putting out now. And the only thing I really know is how insane the fucking 911 tape was.
But sidetrack Sally and Steve. Elaine, she's still munching on those juju fruits. And her boss is telling her that, like, hey, if we don't have this merger, we could be on the street.
And he's sick. Like we kind of glanced out, like in the beginning of the episode, you see him kind of get like a cough, and now it's like full on coronavirus. He's not sounding good.
And she's got a mouth full of juju fruits, and she can't even alert him that, hey, you forgot your handkerchief. It comes out like, oh, so he walks down the hall and he's greeted prematurely by the Asian businessman, and he sneezes into his hand. And as they're trying to greet him, he says, like, no, I can't, the germs, I can't. And so the translator, he relates that to the Asian businessman, and like, he's offended. Like, motherfucker, who the fuck you think we flew this far, motherfucker? You can't even shake my hand, bitch.
I mean, I feel like a simple just explanation though. Like, we got to get a translator in here, but he fucks the deal up, and consequently fucks Kramer's deal up, because Kramer's sort of tied into this, so we like that. But Kramer fucked it up anyway, because after the debacle on Regis and Kathy Lee, the recommendation was that he doesn't do any more publicity because it just went completely haywire. So that's happening.
Yeah. And George got the job. Yeah.
And it's great. He's big dicking around now. He's telling everybody about it. He's excited. Elaine is not excited. She's hating. And he offers her his room at his mom's because he's balling so good now that he's going to move out of his parents. And he's like, hey, move in with my mom. And he gets slapped.
Yeah, I wish he'd slap me like that. Grab me by the face, Elaine. And, this is another episode where we get to see Frank. And, he's telling George, you be good. And he slaps him on the forehead.
Dude, if your kid got a job at a pro team, dude, I mean, that's just a dream of a father. So, yeah. I forget. The other thing in this meeting with, like, they're at his house, like they're at his parents' house. And he even tells his mom and dad that he loves them. And it's because it's opposite George. Yeah. You never do that.
Jerry clocked that. Like, he's in the corner with Kramer and Elaine, like, yeah, that's opposite George. OG.
Yeah. And then we cut to the diner, and it seems like George's great luck is sort of siphoning off everyone else's luck and really kind of making their lives shitty, except for Jerry. Mr. Even.
He's even Steven. Elaine's come to the realization that she has become George. Oh, Georgie.
And she's starting to get frumpy, Steve. The hair is just fucking wet all the time. She's looking like she's doing the walk of shame almost at the end of this. And she realizes it. It's like this motherfucker's his good luck is fucking our lives up. So she's hating.
And George walks in like a new man. Brand new clean suit and chicken salad on rye is his new usual.
And he does look like he's going to some sort of yacht club. He's big dicking with Don Mattingly at the Yankee Stadium. He's just basically just trying to throw it as hard into everyone's face as possible. And I love that.
He then came up. And that's basically the end of the episode. We end off with one of Jerry's stand-up bits, and he's talking about how coffee has a lot of accessories. You got coffee mugs, you got coffee pads, and all alcohol. It helps you lose everything, like family, home, dog, kids, and the like. But maybe you could use a squeegee. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, you got it, though. You basically got it.
Yeah, that's the gist of it.
The NBA on TNT, back-to-back. The Celtics take on the Bad Boys from Detroit, Monday at 8. And then, the Bulls battle the Nets, Tuesday at 8. 2 nights of NBA back-to-back on TNT.
But in 1994, in Living Color, they're airing their finale. I wanted to cover it at first. We covered the series premiere, so I feel like it was only right we do the finale. But it's like, man, this actually wasn't good, and it wasn't planned. The series premiere was planned. They put all their all into the first episode. This was abrupt, so the fact that it was abrupt, it just kind of takes away from it. Like they didn't know at the time probably that this was it.
When a lot of the big players weren't doing it, right?
The whole Wayans family was gone by this time.
Yeah. So
it was basically the Jamie Foxx and David Allen Greer show, which is still awesome. There were still some gems in that final season. But, man, without that Wayans chemistry, I mean, they started this gangster shit. It's just not the same, man. They added a certain – you're missing Homie. You're missing Men on Film. You're missing Fritzy. There's a lot of great characters. Cephas and Reese.
God, dude, why does TV have to fuck it up sometimes? It's like, why couldn't that just last forever? Not forever, but man, that's crazy.
They got a medal, man. Fucking corporate.
It happened with Chappelle's show too. It's like they even tried to make it go with Donnell and fucking Charlie, and it was good, but it was just like, man, it's just not the same,
It's not, man. It's Chappelle's show. But on that same day, LA Law had their series finale. There's a lot of series finales, a lot of enders. But this time around, we don't give a fuck because I've never seen an episode, and I'm sure you probably haven't either. Shout out to Corbin Burnson and Blair Underwood. Yeah. In 1994, tennis star Jennifer Capriati checks into drug rehab center for some weed. Just a weed.
What?
Just a weed.
Jen.
Some weed.
And she's bodied up. What are you going to fucking rehab for? You're just getting high and playing tennis. You're good.
It was the 90s. Look at that nipple poking out. I see you, Jennifer Capriati. You want to smoke some weed? Shit, come through. Pull up.
God, I remember there was that show, Celebrity Rehab. And Eric. It's the brother of Pretty Woman. What's the chick's name from Pretty Woman? Like the
Julia Roberts.
Yeah, Eric Roberts.
Yeah.
He went to Celebrity Rehab for weed, and there's like, I just remember seeing an episode of it where, everybody's like all strung out. There's people that are like detoxing from alcohol and stuff, and he's just like sitting on a couch, smoking a cigarette, having a coffee, reading a newspaper, and he went in for weed, and it's just like he's just on vacation. He's like, oh wow. Like you don't belong here, Eric. And Jennifer,
I'm here to collect
There.
reality. Yeah, reality TV checks. That's all that was.
Yeah, dude. He got paid to have a nice breakfast in Malibu, just with some strung out people around him.
With better weed. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there.
You know who probably didn't watch Living Color's last episode or LA Law series finale, Matt?
Who?
Probably Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, American journalist and First Lady of the United States, born in 1929.
I don't know if this is ignorance, but I didn't know she was a journalist.
Yeah.
I thought she was just like an icon for being connected, being like, you know, fashion forward and being a Kennedy and shit. But shout out.
That's
Jackie
a part of it. Well, you got to imagine she had a lot of shit to write about.
Journalist though, like what would?
Yeah.
How? That's just I'm just.
I mean,
I wonder.
shit. She didn't. I mean, she probably didn't grow up knowing that she was going to be the 37th First Lady of the United States. So shit, the bitch had ambition. I don't know what to tell you.
What if you were the first husband, Steve?
The first husband with Kamala Harris. I just politics. I don't want to get into that shit because I don't know enough about. But I'm very attracted to her, and I don't care sharing that with the world.
She's hot, and she's power. She's got the power thing too. So that's like fucking Oprah.
I want to shoot a movie with her called Coco Melon, and I ain't talking no kitty shit.
Steve, this is the FBI. What the fuck?
Coco Melon. But in 1995, Die Hard with a Vengeance premiered in theaters, starring Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, and Jeremy Irons.
This is a good one, Steve. This is a banger.
Yeah, man, this is the one, dude. Like, a lot of people say this is better than, like, this is the best one.
I mean, there's a helicopter fight. There's Bruce Willis with the I hate N-word sign at the beginning of it, where Samuel L. Jackson has to save him from the hood. It's basically just Bruce Willis being like impractical Joker to the ultimate level until he gets the bad guy. And Samuel L. Jackson is just the one. I forget why he's involved the whole time, because he's just like a shop owner, I think.
So, talking about Samuel L.
Yeah, like why does he stay in the mix? You know, I forget why. There's a reason, but it's a good movie.
Well, this is still Samuel L. when he's got the Reginald VelJohnson hairline, and these are some of the best '90s movies when he was refusing to let it go.
Remember that movie 187 he was in?
I fucking totally do. I love that movie.
The movie's crazy. That's like Dangerous Minds to the most fullest extent, dude.
Dude, that shit was better than Dangerous Minds because he was getting punked. He was getting punked by students the whole time. And like, I think Method Man was in the movie. He actually like shoots him to where like he was out of commission and he had to relocate to another school or some shit. And no, he shanks him. He didn't shoot him. I think he like shanks the fuck out of him. Yeah, he was a disliked teacher. And at the end, I mean, spoiler alert, fuck it. He basically like punks the student, like, oh, you a hard motherfucker, huh? Here, they basically plays Russian roulette. Like, oh no, you're supposed to be the gangster, huh? No, take the gun. On some Malcolm X shit. Like, no, I'm gonna fucking take the gun. And then and, like they bitch up. And they bitch up. Like, we actually watched that, I remember, and like Adam Hurt was getting a hard on for this shit. It was like, especially this part, because Samuel L. was like having his way with the cholos. And he's like, yeah, motherfuckers, yeah, pick up the gun, motherfucker, yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought we all watched this in college because some of these I didn't watch until like later when we were just in that movie, just absorption mode where we would watch anything. Dude, remember watching
any and everything?
We watched this fucking movie. I think we watched it in the dorms, Exorcist 3. And I was on like shrooms watching it, and it like changed I was terrified watching this movie, dude. I think it was in the dorm, but it was amazing.
I wasn't watching it. If I was, it was passively.
Scary stuff, Steve.
But
it's a good one.
On that same day, am I still connected?
Yeah.
Yeah, internet's acting stupid. But anyways, on that same day in 95, Forget Paris premieres in theaters, starring Billy Crystal. And I just have to say, Billy Crystal movies bore me. And I think Billy Crystal is a hilarious comedic genius. He's a great comedic actor. But when it comes to his starring vehicles, Harry Met Sally, when Harry Met Sally in this shit, and I'm not a romance comedy person. I don't know why he's picked to be the guy in these romance comedies. But
I think it was based off Harry Met Sally, because I feel like they were like, okay, that hit. Let's try this again. Because I remember watching this, maybe with my parents. I think in this movie he's an NBA ref. I think maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's it.
And this is a very boring movie, like you said. All of his movies, it was like you wanted to like it. You like Billy Crystal, you like City Slickers, but then you watch this and it's like, okay, you know, that's 2 hours of my life. Like, I'm glad he fell in love. Great.
Right.
You know?
Gives hope for balding guys in middle age. I just remember the cameos. They actually had stars from NBA: Charles Barkley, Bill Walton, David Robinson, Dan Marley, Kevin Johnson, Paul Westphal, Sean Elliott, Patrick Ewing, Tim Hardaway, Kareem was in it, Bill Lambier, Reggie Miller, Kurt Rambish, John Starks, Isaiah Thomas, Spud Webb, Marcus Johnson, Rush Limbaugh, and Marv Albert. Yes.
Yes. I'm going to bite your back. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember, that's weird. I just remember that. That's probably why I enjoyed the movie, was because it was like there you saw NBA players in it. That's probably the only reason I remember this shit.
Yeah. Now, something I've never heard of, that same day in 95, Little Odessa. And it looks pretty interesting, man. It's got Tim Roth, Eddie Furlong, and it's like a mob movie.
I was gonna say it's got the guy from fucking The Last Don and shit in it.
Have you heard of this?
No, not at all.
It looks pretty good. Well, I read the synopsis for it, and I mean, I was interested.
I mean, I'll fucking watch the Eddie Furlong. I can't remember the guy, but the Italian guy on the behind your left shoulder. The guy from like, I can't remember his name, but
Maximilian Schell.
Is that his
name? Or no?
I'd know it. It's crazy. Weed's just hijacking my memory today. I should know it. I think it's Anthony something, but that just sounds Italian. So,
well, it stars Tim Roth, Edward Furlong, Vanessa Redgrave, Maximilian Schell, and Moira Kelly.
Moira. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. But I'll check this out. Is this available anywhere? Because this does not look like something you can find easily.
I looked. I believe it's available on something that's very obscure. But I'm sure like the sneaky links or shit, it might be on YouTube. Early 1990s drama about a family of Soviet Jews living in Brooklyn's Brighton Beach, Oceanside neighborhood, nicknamed Little Odessa.
There, yeah, I never heard of this shit. It's filled with 90 stars. Eddie Furlong, dude. Before it went to shit.
Yeah. Now, in 1996, Simpsons airs the episode Homerpalooza. In an attempt to prove to his kids that he's a cool dad, Homer takes them to a music festival, but ends up embarrassing them after being hired in a sideshow.
I love this episode, Steve. And it's weird watching it now as an older person and feeling like Homer and not sympathizing with Bart.
I'm not happy. I don't like this chair, and I don't like this desk, and I don't like being here. I'm a grumpy old man. I don't like everything the way it is now compared to the way it used to be.
As we start the episode, we see Otto, and he's like at this awards ceremony for safety, which seems a very non-Otto-ish thing to be happening. And it turns out it's not happening. He's in a dream and he's driving, and he almost kills a busload of kids. But, you know, whatevs.
Yeah, he drives into a junkyard and into a trash compactor, basically smashing the bus to smithereens, man.
Could have been bad.
Now the bus is going to be out of commission for the next 2 weeks. And the parents have to take their kids to school. So now Homer is the designated drop-off parent. He's taking Bart, Lisa, Nelson, Milhouse. Yeah.
And he's just embarrassing the fuck out of the kids, Steve. He's listening to Grand Funk. He's listening to fucking all the oldies, all the hits, and none of the kids are liking it, and he can't figure it out. He's like, oldies, this ain't fucking oldies, this is Grand Funk. And he's trying to educate these kids, but they're not on the funk train, Steve. They're not like riding it.
This would be the equivalent of us trying to explain to our kids Limp Bizkit. You see, he did it all for the nookie. The nookie, you see, so you could take your cookies and stick it up your, but they didn't say ass. They threw in a yeah, but you kind of alluded to it. So yeah, man.
Keep on rolling, baby. You know what time it is.
Biz Limp Kid. Yeah, but the kids aren't buying it, and it's getting into Homer's head, Steve. These fucking young ragamuffins, you need to respect this, but they're not.
And Bart even says, we wouldn't partay with you if you were the last dad on earth. And like, damn, bro.
God damn. Like in front of the other kids too. God damn, Bart does not pull any punches. So, now Homer's like, well, I gotta like get in touch with get my finger on the pulse here. So he goes back, he goes to the music store, Steve. That used to exist. He goes to a CD store or a record store, what have you, and he's asking for all his selects, and they're not in the racks. They're in the oldies rack, Steve. They're in some fucking dusty ass corner someplace, just collecting dust.
But he was just listening to Grand Funk Railroad on the radio. How could that be an oldies? Yeah, you were listening to the oldie station, motherfucker.
I mean, what do you do at this point? What can he do? So what his idea is, he needs to start paying attention to these bands that are on the walls now, the 9 Inch Nails, Steve. These unheard of bands at the time. I forget what all the posters are. So he sees a poster for, I think it's called Hullabalooza is the name of the rock festival. And he gets some ticks, Steve. He gets some ticks because he wants to take, and also like somebody whose kids don't want to hang out with you. I don't know if taking them to a rock festival is exactly like the right way to handle it, because I would have hated this. My dad wants to take me to a rock festival. Great.
Yeah, love you, pops, but like, no, man. Are these from me and my friends?
Yeah.
And
I can't smoke weed with you next to me, Dad. I mean, what are we gonna do here? I can't oogle tits with my dad next to me.
Homer also has a flashback, and it's basically a Dazed and Confused parody. And cut to him and Barney singing their favorite songs of the 70s. And Abe walks in, tells him to pipe down, and Homer's just like, "You just not with it, Dad." It's like, "I used to be with it. Now they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it? And what it now seems weird and scary to me. And it'll happen to you." It will.
That's true. I mean, that shit happens. And the other flashback, which I remember vividly for some reason, is the thing that you show behind you, where these kids are out like listening to music in a van. They turn on a strobe light, and as it's strobing, you see Homer like trying to like creep in and join the fun, and it just doesn't work out well. And it's a hilarious visual joke. So
being an ugly Jason.
Yeah,
this band is only for the cool potheads. Yeah.
Get out of here. But he watches from a distance like a creep. And the next day, he just like is taking Bart and Lisa to school supposedly, but he just speeds by Millhouse. He speeds by all the kids, and they're like, "Yo, what the fuck's up?" And he shows them the tickets, and they're like, "Oh, is this fucking real?" And it has like a weird like authenticator tab that speaks to you, and it says, I forgot, the one thing I caught was "Go Justin's," which I think is the ring company that sells high school rings. But
oh, I didn't clock that.
I think that's
they make it to Hullapalooza, and they got their different kiosks set up, and one of them is a bungee jump against racism. I found that pretty funny. Cypress Hill's there. They're performing "Throw Your Set in the Air," wave them around like you just don't,
And yeah, we get a lot of like nice cameos. We get Smashing Pumpkins in here. I think Sonic Youth is shown in this. Peter Frampton's in this. So he takes his kids here, and immediately it's a nightmare scenario. He's just dadding it up. He buys a Rasta hat and some kind of sticker, and immediately Bart and Lisa are like, we gotta go. And he just starts pimp strolling around the concert and is immediately, I think, labeled a narc, and then like crowd surfed the fuck out of the proper area. He's just like immediately ejected for being an old fucking triff.
They think he's a narc.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, narc, we just want to have a good time, narc.
And he just is like kind of dejected, everybody else, Bart and Lisa are watching Smashing Pumpkins. All these depressed kids are like just sort of zombie dancing to Smashing Pumpkins. And Homer looks at it. He kicks some machine and gets he takes a gut shot with, I think it's a pig balloon, Steve. He just takes a fucking cannonball gut shot and somebody sees it, and it turns out like the freak show guy is like, I've been looking for a fat guy to take a cannonball to the gut, and you're that fat guy. So he gets poached, Steve.
And the pig apparently belonged to Peter Frampton. Like that was supposed to be like his end of show. Like, all right.
So now Homer's got a gig. He's a traveling freak.
Known as the Iron Stomach, and he's got his first gig, and he's escorted by a dwarf off stage. He gets to meet Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins, and now they're out on tour. He's living that life. Shout out to Cleveland and Cincinnati. They showed that they're touring through those towns, and he's just eating it up. Everyone's eating it up. He's the talk of the town. He's the newest craze. Now, backstage, he has a beer, and after one swig of Duff, his stomach starts rattling. He goes to the doctor, and he shows him an x-ray and sees that the cannonballs have fucked his guts up.
And it's not even a doctor, Steve. This freak show guy's like, I love my freaks. I take care of my freaks. That's why I need you to go see a vet immediately. So he sends him to a veterinarian, and even the vet's like, yikes, dude. One more cannon shot.
No more
dead.
Yeah, or spicy food. One more and you could die. And he's just like, I don't care. Anything else you want me to say to Jimi Hendrix on the way?
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. He's rock and roll, Steve. Fuck this shit. Fuck dying. We all listen to that Korn song, or that Ice Cube song, or whatever it was.
You got it right.
And
there's some memory in there.
Yeah, it's there somewhere. I mean, that was the Ice Cube "Fuck Dying" song is legit. There's many hours of pot smoking to that. But back to this episode, Homer is now he's gone from city to city, like you said, and now they're going back to Springfield. So now he gets to hang out with the fam. He's telling them about the road. Bart's asking him all these questions. And he's like, why are you asking me all these questions? He turns down around the notebook. Bart's writing a paper, and the paper's the guy you admire most in the world. Oh, it's so heartthrob. It's amazing, Steve. He's getting that love.
That bond is there now that he's been striving for. And
how can you not take a fucking cannon shot at this point? He's like, I got to, or my son's gonna hate me. So he knowingly is like, you know what? I'm going to take this shit. He goes, he takes him backstage. There's a funny joke where there's like an orchestra, and the stage manager's like, who ordered the orchestra? And like nobody knows. And they're like, did somebody possibly I'm looking at you, Cypress Hill, order this orchestra? So you think they just basically are like, hey, can you do Insane in the Membrane? They agree. Cypress Hill Orchestra edition's going to be playing Springfield. And we find out later it's actually Peter Frampton's orchestra, and he's pissed.
They're taking everything from Peter Frampton. They're taking his lunch. They're taking his orchestra, taking his inflatable pig.
He's still got that cool robot. I like the robot voice, Steve. I don't I'm not a Frampton fan, but I dig that robot voice.
Man, that guy's guitar is talking.
So much so that his feet are talking to him. We've all been there, you know.
And it's put up or shut up time for Homer, and he's concerned when he hears Bart say, "You're the coolest dad alive." He can't look back now. But as the cannonball approaches him, the last second he moves out the way. And it's done. I mean, your 15 minutes is up, homie.
Yeah, the freak show guy's like, there's nothing worse than a yellow-bellied freak, unless that's your thing. So I'm going to need you to put your resignation papers on my desk. And Homer's like, you have a desk? And he's like, the hood of my car, please. You're fired. And everybody's sad to see, Homer's become like a part of the family, but he's like talking to the Smashing Pumpkins, and they're like, the fact that you have this love for your family, this is great. All we have is our millions of dollars and our throngs of fans and fame and fortune. And you know what? Fuck all that. Let's go buy some shit. Or,
Let's buy fur coats.
Yeah.
Why not?
And, that's basically it. Homer had his 15 minutes. Hullabalooza leaves Springfield without him, and Marge, Homer, and the kids go home. And during the drive home at the end of the episode, it's basically Marge and Homer realizing that they don't need to be cool, Steve. And isn't that cool?
No.
Oh, damn it.
Well, she's glad. Not caring is cool, right? No.
This was a very some of these episodes, I feel like they played more than others in syndication. And I definitely just remember loving the fuck out of this. And just Cypress Hill. I mean, the fact Cypress Hill's in it. I mean, Sonic Youth even got in it. I fuck a Sonic Youth, but
no love for Sonic Youth, Matt.
I couldn't even tell you what they play, Steve.
Yeah,
fucking Sonic Youth. They're in Peter Frampton's fucking cooler. Fuck them. See it? They're right behind you, fucking stealing his shit.
Stealing his watermelon. But on that same day in '96, Murder, She Wrote, they have their series finale.
96 it made it till. Jesus.
This shit started in the 70s. 84. I know, right? It started in 84 to May 19th, 96, man.
Old people just ate that. Like, there were so many old people centric shows back then. Like, I don't know. They tapped into it because my grandma watched all these. Anything that was this fucking anything on CBS. Remember Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman?
Yeah,
oh my shit. Fucking God, Steve. I had to watch many episodes of that shit. Dr. Quinn, my wife needs to have a baby in a fucking shanty. Yes, Touched by an Angel. I mean, fuck. It was all like very, it's for like people 60 and older. It's like AARP network or some shit. It was crazy. But hey.
Now, Matt, let me ask you. What do you think Angela Lansbury's titties look like?
Now? They're not looking. Back then, like the chick in, remember in The Shining when it starts like the chick in the tub? I think that's what it looks like.
She's 96.
Oh man, have you ever seen Something About Mary?
Yeah,
that's what her tits look like. Those.
Well, in 1998,
what if she's stacked, Steve? What if it's all 90-some-year-old woman, but those titties are like 50? They're just juicy. Straight lifted, just Hollywooded the fuck out. Just like, well, I can still titty fuck you, Steve. She's alive, right?
Yeah.
There you go, Steve. Something to shoot for, or on, or both.
Got a couple parodies in mind.
Oh, Murder, She Wrote.
Now, in 1998, The Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars premieres because why the fuck not? It's the 90s. I think that I should smoke copious amounts of marijuana and search for this.
I like that this is the second one. I don't remember it, Steve. I think I was too old to be watching it, but I'll smoke something and watch this. It's probably hilarious.
Yeah. Hell yeah, I could appreciate it with weed. At 38, I mean, not only are they talking utensils, they're talking utensils that found a way to make it to Mars while talking.
And with a baby until
with a baby.
It's like, hey, maybe they kidnapped the kid. I don't know. Some dark's gonna happen in here, but hey, I'll smoke some and let's watch this, Steve.
Because the writers and makers were definitely smoking something. Now, on that same day in 98, Godzilla, the album, is released. And not the movie, but the album.
the album.
It's pretty badass.
It's got Puff Daddy in it, right? Puff Daddy and what's his face?
Yeah, Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
And then they also have a Rage Against the Machine song, No Shelter, which I fucking love.
I feel like there was a couple other. I had this album. This was
There'll be no shelter here.
This was the thing. This was, again, I had talked about this with my wife. Not enough soundtracks used to be a thing. Soundtracks used to, like, you wanted to, like that doesn't even happen anymore. Unless it was like,
yeah,
maybe Black Panther had one, like, and that's like a specialty thing, like it doesn't happen all the time.
I think we only give a fuck about the Marvel soundtracks these days, if that.
Nah, I think Black Panther was a special thing, but just in general, like, I remember this is probably, some of these suck, but like I bought the Scream soundtrack. There were some burners on that. I bought Mission Impossible 2 soundtrack. There were some burners on that. Yeah. Fast and Furious 2. There was some fucking burners on that shit.
The Boys in the Hood soundtrack, the Juice soundtrack.
Yeah, you went with better quality ones. I went. But they used to be a thing. I mean, fuck, MC Hammer used to make fucking songs for the fucking movie.
They do what they want to do, say what they want to say, live how they want to live, play how they want to play, dance how they want to dance. Here can they start a friend? Adams, I'm elite. Go.
Adams. Oh. I mean, listen to Ninja Turtles 1. There is a rap song that explains the whole storyline of Ninja Turtles, the movie, in the rap song. It's called Turtle Power, and it's a banger. So you're welcome, world. Enjoy that.
Oh, please like, share, subscribe for our memories of our favorite Sunday school sessions.
Bless you, Steve. Bless.
And that following year, 99, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace premiered in theaters, starring Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, Jake Lloyd, and a bunch of other motherfuckers.
God, I was so hyped for this movie, Steve. I was a Star Wars nerd.
Yeah, a lot of people were.
And honestly, this is a movie that when I saw it in theaters, my love of the actual overall product made me believe that I liked the movie. And there are redeemable things in this movie. Darth Maul. Liam Neeson's. Ewan McGregor, who's getting a show based off of the character he plays in this movie. But it's not a good movie. And this was going to be my aside, so I guess we can go to that also. This is one of the movies in my life that at one point I loved, and then at some point the worm turned, and I realized I hated the movie. And I'm sorry, George Lucas. But I did. When I saw this in theaters, I waited in line. I got tickets in advance. This was really before that was a thing. Like, now that's a thing. That's fine. Like, it's normal. But I waited in a fucking line to go see this shit in Mommy's, whatever that multiplex shit was.
Showcase Cinema.
I don't think that's even, was that what it was called?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was there and I loved it, and now I hate it. So I don't know what that is, but used to be a Star Wars geek, Steve.
A lot of people, and I think the kickback from this movie prevented me from wanting to even be a part of that universe, man. Because I grew up not watching the originals, and then I saw a lot of people were disappointed when this first came out, and just like people were dead ass serious, like, man, the snarfs are not supposed to be in the fucking blah blah blah. Like, damn, you are getting so fucking built up and amped up about these fucking fictional characters. My God, I'll just stick to wrestling. That'll just be my thing.
When being a nerd was like still kind of not a cool thing. And I just remember being like, okay, I need to pull this back now because this is something I love way too much. You know,
and I will never get laid if I go down this path.
But again, at the time, it's very weird. I just always wondered, like, because when I saw this, Steve, I was like, it's a masterpiece. The ending, like, I just remember being like, when they're doing the lightsaber fight at the end, I was like, I was coming in my pants. I might as well have been watching fucking Wild Things. It was the same reaction. You didn't like that. I'm sorry.
Now, any takeaways, honorable mentions, come shots?
Just the one that I shot, Steve. Just, you know, sometimes you watch a movie. This happened to me with a movie called The Hills Have Eyes in college. I watched it tripping balls on mushrooms and thought it might be the greatest, most intense movie of all time. And then I watched it sober and realized it was just a, you know, passable horror movie. But shout out to movies you love and then hate at some point in your life, you know, because that can happen. You can change your mind.
Masters of the Universe. That's one for me.
That's a tough one.
Now, only callback I have is I want to give a shout out to a fellow by the name of Hector. I don't want to give his full government, don't want to put him out there, but he has been a faithful of ours. He follows us on the various social medias, the Instagrams. He follows us on Facebook. I don't even know if the brother has a Twitter, but Hector, he likes a lot of our posts. And if you watch our podcast, Hector, if you know we have a podcast, which I try to make apparent on our social medias, we're not just meme sharing and sharing old videos and shit. If you're listening, man, thank you, and continue the love, please, man, and tell your friends.
Real Hector. American hero. Shout out Hector. Hector, what's up, dude?
If you lived in Atlanta, Hector, I'd find somebody to give you an HJ from the heart.
Wow.
I do that for Hector.
I mean, Steve, you're out here giving the public HJs just at will. I mean, you're a man of God. I feel like this is like, you're the new mission.
I'd find somebody to give him an HJ.
I mean, you're a fucking social worker, Steve. You're a miracle worker. So,
yeah, man. I'm here. I look out for all walks of life, especially the seahorses who identify themselves as Frank Thomas.
How's that going, by the way, just before we get out of here? How much money have you raised at this point?
They're staying afloat. Let's just say that. And please like, share, subscribe, comment, and look at the other podcasts, our sister shows, Over the Culture, Crushgasm, B3F Podcast, and Don't Worry, B Movies. This is Steve G and Mad G with Happened in the 90s.